Recording. Okay. So all we're going to need for the 5-minute burn drawing is some paper and something to draw with, a pen or a pencil, whichever is easier for you. And so no matter the size of your paper, maybe no bigger than a regular sheet of printer paper. Something like this is what I have. You're just going to look somewhere around you. And we're going to time 5 minutes, and you have to draw everything as quickly as you can. Now, you don't want to draw just one object. What you want to do is really get as much as you can onto your paper. One thing to keep in mind is creating a sense of space by drawing objects that are either, or things that are overlapping each other, like one in front of the other, to create depth and space and interest. So think about using the foreground, middle ground, background. Also think about things like, you can just indicate, even with a simple line, something like the edge of a table, or the door, or a wall in the background, the line of the floor, something so that your drawings are in a place, right? And have, in theory, ideally, some depth to them. Okay, so questions. You can either unmute yourself or type in the chat box. Okay, I just want to say why we do exercises like this and the importance of it. So why we do an exercise like this is to sort of build our muscles. So to build several muscles. One is the muscle of confidence, right? So when we don't stop and think about everything that we're doing, and you just draw, it sort of overrides your thinking mind and lets you, you don't have time to think, and so it lets you draw freely, which really does build your confidence and speed. Another thing is, in the second part of this, it has you really learn about making conscious decisions of what works in making depth and a focal point and an interesting sketch. So it also helps you just practice. This is a nice, easy way to practice because it's fast and, it's not too laborious. So somebody asked, do we start by drawing a frame? Here I would say no. In the first 5 minutes, don't draw a frame. When you go to refine the drawing in the second 5 minutes, then you could decide to put a frame on it, which will help guide the focus of the viewer. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, so all I would say is pick a place around you, like maybe stuff on your table or a doorway or a window and what's out the window, and think about framing with the window, or your bed, chairs, anything that's around you. And we're just going to time it and start and see what happens. Okay, so if everyone's ready, have a look around and I'll get the timer started. Excuse me. Okay, ready? 5 minutes and go. Okay, you have 2 minutes still. Okay, and stop. Okay. Hi, Laura. Sorry, you missed the beginning, the first exercise. We were drawing without stopping for 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, I got confused with the time. I thought it started in half an hour.
No, that's okay. Also, they just instated a password today, so it's all very, yes, artistic today. Let's just put it that way. No,
Okay.
thanks for joining. So we'll, sorry?
Oops, that's my alarm telling me to get ready for this thing that's already happening. My friend Livia might join too.
Okay, great. That's great. So I'm sorry you missed the beginning. We'll see, maybe we can learn from what people have shared. And if we have time, we'll do it a second time.
Great, okay.
Okay, thanks.
Tuned.
Okay, so what was your experience of drawing without stopping for 5 minutes? How did that go? So you can either unmute yourself or you can type in the chat box.
It was fun. I like the pressure of it.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like
Keeps you pushing.
Go. Yeah. So you felt the pressure of it.
Yeah, but it kept pushing you along, instead of just stopping and thinking. And yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so you really can't overthink these or you will only get a few lines on your paper. Great, so were you able to fill up your paper more or less?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see?
Let's see. I'm going to put you on the big screen.
So you can know, Michael.
Yeah, go back. Yes, go back a little bit and up. There you go. Oh, that's beautiful. This is a really nice line. Yes. So are you drawing things that are on your table there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we set it up.
Oh, you did. You're very organized. I like it. Artist. Okay, great. Does anyone else want to share? Somebody says, I couldn't believe how things continue to be seen. Yes, right there. The more you look, the more stuff there is, the more there is to see. So many things to draw. Too much stuff in my picture. It flowed pretty well. It was hard. Okay. Great. Okay, Peter wants to share. Excellent. Peter.
Can you
Great.
see
So
that?
tell us what, yeah. So what, are you drawing your office where you are?
Yeah, I'm looking in the corner. I've hidden some of the rubbish. I used a bit of artist integrity. But,
Yes. We have artistic license for a reason, right? You don't have to include everything. Great. And so I really like you got, right, one thing on top of another, right? This sort of cabinet on the side and it looks like a music stand in front of the building behind.
You're very good, very good, very good. Yes.
So you were able to fill up your whole page, I see.
I was, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so these are all great observations, right? Seeing how much there really is to see. And you guys brought up a good point that you can edit, right? You don't have to include everything. I will show you mine, but I did it in pencil, so you may or may not be able to see. So the reason why I'm showing you is this is just like a corner of my room where I'm sitting, and this is like a heater on a stool because it's been cold at night. Yeah, and it's like a corner with some jackets hanging and whatever. I mean, you don't even necessarily have to know what's going on. But now comes the even more interesting part. And the more interesting part is consciously deciding what is important and what is not important and where to focus in the drawing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another 5 minutes and I want you to look at your drawing before we start and kind of decide, like, where is the more interesting area to look in the drawing? Like, sometimes it's easy to see, like, oh, there's a natural sort of focal point. Maybe mine is going to be in the foreground, this stool with the thing sitting on top of it. Or maybe it's going to be back here in the corner, right? I can choose whatever I want, you know, what I think will be the interesting thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend 5 minutes and you're going to finish developing your drawing and purposely make a focal point. And how you do that is there's a few ways you can do that. One is you can make darker lines, right? And sort of make a heavy outline so that it's clear where to look, sort of jumps out from the rest of the drawing. Another thing is you can use shading, right, and shadows, or the side of your pen or pencil, right, to show where something is dark. You can also use a variety of different kinds of marks, right? You can vary the marks making in the point where you want people to look so that it becomes more active and dynamic and sort of alive. So those are some ideas of things you can use, sort of techniques you can use to have, you know, one part of your drawing be in focus. So, any questions? Does this make sense? Are you a little unsure? Okay, so let's try it. And maybe Alexa, since you just came in, instead you can use these first 5 minutes to make a sketch. And what you want to do is just look in one area of your room where you're sitting, anything around you, and fill up your whole page as quickly as you can in 5 minutes. And don't give anything any too much attention to any one thing. Just your objective is to fill up the page. But think about things overlapping in space, right? Like creating a foreground, a middle ground, a background, things that are in front of each other. Okay. Someone says, I don't see how to speak. So in your box here, on the bottom left, you'll see your microphone. It'll say mute, unmute, video, stop video.
Okay, this is Lucy.
Hello.
I'm looking out my window at my jungle,
Uh-huh.
and it's just too much. I tried to draw like lines for trees, and it just looks like garbage.
Okay, so maybe one thing you could think about is, right, what we said is using different layers or levels. So think about, what about framing it with the window, which you're looking through, right? And so, and then is the window just floating in space, or is it like above a desk, right? So start to think about putting things in a place, right? So it's hard to know what something is if you don't, you have to give it more context. So maybe the focus isn't all the, crazy things happening outside the window. Maybe instead it's just about looking through the window.
I started to do that, but that's just another thing to draw. So can I show you what I have? Like I started.
Yeah, turn your video on, of course. Here, I'll turn it on. Can I turn?
Start my video. Okay.
Let's put you in the big box. Okay, can you hold it up a little higher?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe instead, this time you could make it smaller so you can actually frame it with a window around.
Okay.
Or what you can do is just pick one part of your drawing, like if it's a palm, one of these palmettos or whatever they're, palmetto bushes. And
Yes,
just
I started to do that.
Right, focus on one element, one part of the drawing, and look for things like, is there a shadow on the ground underneath of it? That makes it sit on the ground, right? Or is there, right, look for things like shadows, differences between light and dark. Or you can even make a little bit more details in the fronds of the plant.
Okay.
Okay.
It's morning, so there's like nice light spots, but I don't know how to show that except by
Well,
making it
one
dark
thing
around
is
it,
to
right?
find shadows, light and shadows. You can sort of squint your eyes down and look through your eyelashes. So you don't see details, but you tend to see bigger shapes of just light and dark. And where you see dark, you can just use the side of your pencil loosely. And like the last exercise, I know you were here for it, look for not little broken up patches, but solid shapes of shadow. Okay.
Okay,
So just try it and see what happens.
I will.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Okay. So I'm going to time us again for 5 minutes. And another thing that Teresa had brought up before is something that can help if you want to, like if you don't want to include your entire drawing, but you want to sort of focus on part of it, you can always draw a frame around it, right? You can actually draw a line and delineate where your drawing is, which tells the viewer, look here, and the rest is like outside the frame. So you can always do that as well, which will help sort of focus your drawing. Okay, are you guys ready? We'll draw for 5 more minutes and see what happens. Okay, and start. Okay, we have a minute and a half left. Okay, and stop. Okay, now the first thing to do is take your drawing and hold it back from you a little bit, like at arm's length, so you can really see, like, does it have a strong impact, right? When we stay so close to our drawings, it's really hard to tell what they look like and how much impact they have. So hold it back from you a little bit, arm's length, or you can set it down and step back. And ask yourself the question, right? Is this what I wanted, the effect that I wanted? Is it having the effect that I wanted? Is it guiding my eye to look in a specific place or in a specific way? And this is also another important thing. If it's not doing or having the effect that you wanted it to, it doesn't mean that you're not good at drawing, right? All it means is it was an experiment that didn't work in the way that you thought. So now you can learn something from it and use it in the next drawing. So this is really important in general with drawing. That's why you have to draw so much, right? To get anywhere with it, because it just takes tons and tons of practice to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So, does anyone want to share?
I will.
Great, who's that?
Connie.
Great, let me put you on the big screen. Great, Connie, how did it go? What happened?
Well, I think I started too small.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't really like get it down any further than it was. So I wish I would have started bigger. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, hold it up just a little bit higher. Yeah, wow, that's beautiful. That's amazing that you did all of that in such a quick time.
Well, it's small, but I wish I would have drawn more of the room so I would have more choice to focus on other things.
Okay, yeah, so you kind of wish you had drawn more of the area around.
Yeah.
Because that was your only choice and the focal point were the things in the jar.
Right.
But it's beautiful drawing. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, that's good because, maybe that's something, do you feel like that's something in general? Do you tend to focus in on details?
Well, sometimes I've focused out on a bigger area, but then I get super intimidated. And so I was looking around my room and I thought, this is all just intimidating me. So I'm just going to do a small thing.
Great. Yeah, so maybe it's more useful to draw something that you have no idea how you would draw it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Oops, I'll get off.
Yeah, Pierre says, Connie, that is really nice work and he loves the shading. Okay, let's see. Who is this? Is this Suzanne? Oh, Suzanne, let me unmute you. Okay. It's not letting me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes,
There you go. Okay.
because I didn't like that. I mean, I cut off that part. 'Cause
Okay.
Kleenex and, you know, I can't draw a moose to save my soul.
Oh yeah. Take it back just a little bit so you can see better. Yeah, great. So what did you want to choose to be the focal point?
The Kleenex box, because these stickies kind of go to it. But then, you know, my problem is I'm such a realist. I want to draw it the way like the way it is.
Yeah, but you did a really good job.
I would take out this. This is earbuds, and it looks like a pile of spaghetti sitting on the table. But if I had to, I would have taken that out.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I actually didn't even notice it because when you emphasize, like you did with these dark lines on the Kleenex box, right? And it's really nice that you put the shadow, right? The cast shadow. I think it's a round container holding pens.
Yeah,
Like your eye doesn't even really see the spaghetti pile.
which is good.
Great. So was this useful, or what did you learn from it?
Uh,
More
yeah.
practice.
If at first you don't succeed, just keep.
Yes, just keep doing it again and again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Kelly, I'd like to share too.
Yeah, please. Great, Marsha. Let's see it. Oh yeah, there you go. I'll put you in the big box.
So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
that,
just hold it
but this is
up a little bit. Yeah.
okay. Crooked there. Okay. It says from my kitchen table, and I was holding my pad up and realized the pad became part of my subject.
Yeah, it's really cool,
So-
right? It's a great way to create the foreground.
Yeah, so that became, I have this little stuffed monkey.
Yes.
So that became my focal point.
Mm.
So I thought, so it became fun. The pad was actually without the drawing, of course, that's now on it. But anyway, that became the focal point. So that became fun. It was a little nerve-wracking doing the first part because I really have a lot of crap on my table and around me. But to just kind of zoom on that part, once that pad was there, it was, ooh, I really like this real distance in the drawing.
Yeah, that
So
was
that
a
became
really
fun.
nice addition. It created a great sense of space, and it is really fun because you understand that it's like a drawing about your drawing.
Right. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah. So did you liked this exercise? It seems like.
Yes, I like this exercise. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll have a go.
Yeah, great, Peter.
I'll try to, is that working? I'll try to
Yeah, I can
emphasize-
see it. Can everyone see it? I can see it perfectly well. Yeah. Great. So your center of focus became this. Is it a music stand? To me, it looks like a music
Yes.
stand.
Yeah, it is. I endeavoured to actually have the focus, the actual music on the music stand, but probably didn't work. So
No, I think it's great. Well, and you really highlighted it by, right, darkening, right, filling in the dark behind it. So the white of the paper comes forward.
yeah,
That's
I've got the
great.
legs wrong. It looks like it's going to topple over, but that's okay.
What looks like it's going to topple?
My music stand, I think the legs look a little like.
Oh, I don't think they do. I think the only thing you could add, like, you could just darken the line of if it's the floor or the closet or something, the line, if you just darken that line as well, I think that gives it the
Okay.
sort of, I think just one simple thing like that would complete it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What did you think about this drawing exercise?
Actually, I liked it, believe it or not. I couldn't believe how much I did in the first 5 minutes. And then, yeah, it was good. I actually, because the first 5 minutes you don't, because you think you've only got 5 minutes, you don't overthink it, you just draw.
Yeah.
And then if you get 5 more minutes to refine, you actually turn out something half reasonable.
Yes, that's great. I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that because really just diving in makes a big difference and not stopping.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Peter. Okay, if there's anyone else I'd like to share.
I'd like
Okay.
to share,
Okay, great. Let's see.
see my improvement.
Okay, do you want to, can you turn on your camera? Or I can try and turn it on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Do I push start my video? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I improved it this time by focusing down.
Yeah,
And all I had time to do was like add some palmettos and shade the tree.
yeah.
And it looks a lot better.
It
I
does
can't-
look a lot better. And you added this like framing line, didn't you?
Yes, so I could focus.
Great. Yeah, it does look a lot better. Are you happy? So you're happier with this?
I'm happier with it. I can't say I achieved a lot, but I got more of a sense of how I would do it if I took more time.
Great. Very
It was
good.
more fun.
Okay, that's important. More fun is important.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So if there's anyone else I'd like to share. Okay, great. So that's it for today. And this is something that you really can practice. I mean, you can practice it anywhere. 5 minutes is, I mean, you spend 5 minutes waiting for your coffee in the morning. You know, 5 minutes is really no time. And this exercise, if you do it repeatedly and regularly, it will really, really improve your observational skills. It improves your confidence, and it really will improve your like your mark making and being able to draw things quickly. And then you can stop and slow down, right? And go back and fill in things slowly. But you don't have to, you know, completely render the entire drawing in the same level of detail. So thanks so much, you guys. If you've, again, if you came late, I'm sorry, there was the whole password thing. So the password will be the same every week. And if you would like to be included on an email list, you can message me privately in the chat box, and I'll just send out an email 1 day a week. You can donate for this class if you'd like to. I will put the link for that, and I think that's all. You can always write to me and ask me, you know, any questions, or if you'd like to request a topic that is important to you and you want to work on, please just write to me. You can always find me by kellymedford.com, and I have a page there. Okay. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll stay.